So we're gonna
Mhm.
make it really easy and hope that you follow along how to make the best of this virtual career fair coming up next week, or two virtual career fairs coming up next week. We will go through every step, but please stop us at any point. Let us know if you have any questions. Feel free to interrupt as we go on. We'll make it slow and we'll try to be as detailed as possible. Okay, with that, these are the topics that we prepared to discuss. The first thing is updating your resume. I hope you all know that the career fair is taking place on Handshake. So everything that we're going to discuss is related to Handshake, except maybe the ending, where you send the thank you email, you don't send that through Handshake. But the rest is really all in Handshake universe. First thing we're going to do is remind you your resume, how to update it, and how to make some settings public on Handshake. Then researching companies, creating your schedule for the day, elevator pitch, reminding you how to craft an elevator pitch and some examples, and then actual tips for the fair and how to appear professional and communication in the fair. And then finally, how to stay organized and thank you emails, and not finally, and for real, finally, a walkthrough of what it will be like. So with that, we'll get started. As I said, feel free to interrupt us. So the first thing, and this goes for every type of fair, virtual or not, making sure that your resume is up to date. And it can be really easy to forget that your resume is not up to date, even if you updated it last semester. Chances are something might have changed. Your GPA, maybe, or your expected graduation date, or your coursework, you want to highlight something different. So make sure to take one last look. You still have time to make changes. It should be clear, concise, and as I said, up to date. We recommend one-page resume. So if you can get it to one page, it really helps you. And we can always help you take a look if you're struggling or if you're not sure if it's the best it can be. So resume up to date, and then make sure it's, of course, uploaded in Handshake. Because if you just have it on your computer, it's not going to help you for the day of the fair. So uploaded in Handshake, approved by one of us, and set to visible. So this is the only way that employers are going to see your resume. You're not going to be able to email it back and forth or to share your screen or anything like that at the day of the fair. The only way they will see it if you mark it visible on your profile. So we will show you later how to do it, I think. So if you're not sure how to do that, again, let us know. But this is crucial. If you don't have it visible, they will not see it during the fair. Okay, Sarah? Then the second thing, after you have your resume, and this again goes for virtual or not, making sure you research the companies and the specific job opportunities that you're interested in. So what that looks like for Tuesday and Thursday is reading through the employers who are attending, taking a look at that list and the positions that they're recruiting for, and becoming familiar with the company and the position, right? So you don't want to ask, the day of the fair, what is it that you do? What is this company about? What is your mission? You should know all these things. If you're interested in speaking to them, you should have done your research as to why you're interested and why you think you'd be a good fit and what the roles are. You can definitely ask for more information about the roles. That's what you're there for, but you should know at least what's posted on the Handshake. You should be familiar with that. So this is pretty straightforward. It's all in Handshake. The opportunities are there and the companies are there, including the websites, any other student reviews. There's a ton of information on Handshake, so you make sure you can start there. Of course, you can also, just Google them and see what else appears. If they've been in the news, if you want to do your own research, feel free to, but be more prepared than not to speak to these employers. All right, Sarah.
Thank you, Mariana. Okay, I think we're up to step 3. And this is also a crucial step and also a big difference between an in-person fair and a virtual fair. So for the virtual fair, for the ones that we're hosting in particular, you want to sign up for sessions before the fair. So you can do that today, tomorrow, the next day, any day before the fair. We have hundreds of one-on-one sessions open right now with all of the employers. And each one-on-one session is 10 minutes. And it's an individual meeting with a recruiter. So you want to bring your A game. I guess it's the equivalent of walking up to a table at a career fair, shaking their hand and having a 10-minute conversation. But it's really you and the employer. So once you register, if you haven't done so already for the fair, the second step is to sign up for those sessions. The one-to-ones are to have that specific conversation, and then the group sessions are 30 minutes long. And that's kind of to get an understanding of an organization, what they're recruiting for. And a group session obviously is with other students. So you want to make sure you do this as soon as possible, especially if it's a popular employer. The sessions might fill up and then you won't be able to meet with them. So you want to make sure you do this as soon as possible. And we're going to show you how to do that at the end. Okay, next is your elevator pitch. This is a really important part of how you kind of speak to employers, how you're branding yourself. And if you practice it, it'll be a lot easier for when you do meet with that employer and you're nervous, and that's completely understandable. So if you practice your elevator pitch ahead of time, you'll be, better off and more comfortable. So what is an elevator pitch? An elevator pitch, the idea behind it is you walk into an elevator and behind you walks the CEO of the company that you really, really want to work for. So you have about 30 seconds to give your background and kind of sell yourself, pretty much the length of an elevator ride. So your elevator pitch should include your name, your class level at Mercy College, and your major, your short-term or long-term career goal, depending on you as a person. Either is okay, and depending on your interests. And then you want to talk about any experience you have that support that career goal. That can be, ideally, it's work or internship experience, but it's also okay if it's volunteer or even personal experience. And any academic projects or accomplishments, anything that you're proud of that shows your work ethic. Okay. And then next, we're going to give some examples. You see how I put this moving graphic in? Isn't that cool? And we're also going to pause the recording after we read through these examples and ask everyone to write their pitch, and ask for a few brave souls to share their pitch. But we won't be recording that, so you don't have to worry about that. So here are two examples. My name is Sarah Shepard. I'm a senior at Mercy College majoring in behavioral science. My goal is to work in social service with children in foster care. I enjoy helping people and have volunteered at a food pantry for the past 5 years. So the food pantry part is not really related, but you can see how this person kind of likes the nonprofit, is motivated by mission-driven things. The second example is my name is Sarah Shepard. I'm a junior at Mercy College majoring in nursing. I am interested in working with the geriatric population. I have personal experience caring for my grandmother for the past several years. So again, not work experience, but showing what you have done in your life that supports the career goal that you're going for. So I'm going to pause the recording if I can find the button. I'm going to stop sharing for a second. Okay, so moving on from the elevator pitch. I think this would be you, Joy.
Yes. Okay, can everyone hear me okay? It sounds fine. Okay. I'm starting to get a little distortion on my end. But you all did a great job with sharing your elevator pitch. So you all have the right idea. Okay, so tips for the day of the fair and professional etiquette. So one thing you want to keep in mind is to dress appropriately. Although this is a fair that will be held virtually, you still want to be sure that you are dressed appropriately from, of course, everything the employer can see from top up. Turn on your cameras, make sure you're well groomed, and you're prepared for the video meeting. You notice that some of my colleagues have backgrounds, so you can have a background depending on what space you're in. We also have interview rooms in our office in Main Hall, on the Dobbs Ferry campus. Main Hall 247A. I was going to say B. You can use our interview rooms. We have 2 of them, so you can feel free to utilize some space if you need to, or find some other space. But just make sure your space looks presentable, as is in the second one. It's free of distractions. It's quiet, and again, just a reminder to turn your camera on so employers can see you and interact with you. Then you want to be sure to test your technology. So ensure you have a good internet connection and that everything is functioning well with your audio and video. Make sure all of that is working properly. So you can go on just a few minutes before your session with an employer and just test these things. Make sure you test your video and Handshake also before your meeting. And when you go onto Handshake, just before you can join the session with the employer, you can see yourself and just make sure everything looks presentable and do some tests that way. Okay. All right. Then you want to be sure to stay organized and send thank you emails. So in staying organized, you want to create a spreadsheet or chart where you can easily input information about the connections you made. So this is very helpful, just so you know what employers you're talking to, get their contact information, their names, and then you can follow up with them in the end. And so that follow-up is in the form of a thank you email. So you want to send thank you emails to all individuals you've had contact with, not a group email unless you met with a group of employers at once, but you want to send to individual employers. And you're thanking them for their time. You're also reiterating something that you were interested in during your conversation with them. Maybe they said something about the organization and you want to highlight that as one of the reasons you're most interested in working for the organization, or anything you talked about that is worth highlighting here, you can do so. This can be the difference between getting an interview for the position or not getting the interview. So always make sure you follow up with the employer. We typically advise you follow up within 24 hours of meeting with that employer. Thank you.
Okay, great. Now we're going to watch a quick video. It's very short, it's 2 minutes, on what it will kind of feel like when you're in Handshake. So it's a walkthrough. So
show you how to sign up for sessions for
can you guys hear that? Yeah.
the upcoming career fair. As you can see, I'm already signed into Handshake. So what you're going to want.
Sarah, we can't hear.
Why?
I don't know.
This will be
Better.
you click on, but today we're going
Okay.
to show you for our
Should I make it louder?
Maybe,
I need
yeah.
to pause it. I'll pause it and
And
start
go,
over.
yeah.
Just
Yeah.
a little.
Sorry.
Mhm.
Thank you.
everyone. Today we're going to show you
Better?
how to sign up for sessions
Perfect.
for the upcoming.
Can't hear.
Actually, the sound went out again. It goes out when Liam comes up
When
a
he's
second
signing
time.
up for
Is
session.
it because I'm muting?
Yes, maybe. Don't mute.
This will be the career fair you do click on, but today we're going to show you for our test fair. Now, we do have to schedule sessions, so we're going to click on available sessions. We're going to schedule one-on-one. And we'll take this time. We'll confirm with the employer. Now you can see on the right side of the screen, it says your sessions happening now. So shut off my camera so we can see what it looks like when we log in. I can test my video, make sure that's working. I'm currently using my audio from Zoom, but you would want to make sure your audio is working. If this part, this part and it isn't working, I do recommend checking your browser. I highly recommend you use Chrome. If you don't have Chrome as an option, Firefox is the second best bet. Do not use Internet Explorer. It's not going to work. So now we're going to click Join Now. Now we're on our one-on-one session with our employer.
Yes, hi. Okay, that was the end of our. Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming today. I have too many screens. Sorry. That was the end of our presentation. Does anyone have questions or want to talk anything through?
I had a question for some of the jobs that I was reading the description. When they name like the age group that they usually hire, does that matter, or should I still apply, like make a session with them?
They put an age group. That's age discrimination.
Yeah, they were like, we usually hire 21 to 26-year-olds, and so I was like, I don't know if I should still apply.
What employer and position was it?
Let me find it.
I would say you should still go, but I'd love to know who's recommending an age. I mean, I understand if there's a minimum age for legal reasons, but that one doesn't sound like it.
Yeah, I've seen that on a couple job applications that I was applying for. It was like 18 to 20 something. I don't remember the exact number, but they had an age gap on there as well.
I would say apply anyway, if you're interested in the position and
Okay,
employer.
thank you.
Mhm.
I wonder if it says 18 because they're looking for students not to be minors. and
Yeah,
that's
that could
all,
be it, but they shouldn't
they-
put a cutoff.
Right, right, the cutoff is weird. Mhm.
Yeah.
Hi. With the elevator speech, what are some other uses of it for people looking for internships and other type of employment?
You can really use your elevator pitch in anytime you meet an employer. That could be, you run into someone and they're like, oh, tell me a little bit about yourself. Or it's the first conversation you have at a career fair, or really you just kind of keep it in your back pocket for whenever you find yourself in a situation where you need to kind of summarize yourself professionally. So yeah, I think you can really use it in many different ways, and you usually want to tailor it to whoever you're talking to. So if you're talking to someone about an accounting position, you don't want to say, but I'm really interested in marketing.
Right. Thank you.
Mhm.
Questions?
Any other questions?
I have a question.
I'm mute, sorry.
Sure, Jennifer.
For internships, I was wondering for my major, like if I wanted to have like a mentorship, are there like things that I could apply for on Handshake for that? Like if I want like a mentor, like a social work mentor.
Joy or Mariana, any mentorship resources you have in mind?
I can't think of any
Jen-
outside, I'm sorry, Mariana, when you. did you
Sorry,
have something?
Jennifer, can you clarify? You're looking for a mentorship
Yeah.
or for an internship? What did you say? Sorry.
I think some people recommended me to do that, like an internship or like a mentorship if I want to do like social
Oh.
work,
Okay.
something like that.
Yeah, so I don't know specifically mentorships alone, but I do know internships
Mhm.
where they mentor you, right? So it's kind of included in an internship. You're going to be learning from somebody who's doing the job you ideally want to go into, or at least in
Mhm.
the field. So I would kind of search for those interchangeably, and definitely at the career fair, you will encounter many employers who are looking for interns. So I think you can ask about that. And then within internships, you can ask about training and that kind of guidance that you're looking for. But for the most part, that's included in an internship. So I would suggest you just look for those at this point.
Okay.
We can talk about that more later if you want, but there's definitely many opportunities for social work internships for you on Tuesday.
Thank
And
you.
I, and just to add, if you're, looking for someone who's in the field or who's been in the field, I would talk to some of your faculty members and see if they can offer you some information just about what it's like being in the field. If you're looking for, just to have some mentorship, maybe they can give you some suggestions as well.
Yeah, thank you. I'll definitely do that.
Thank you.
Hi, I also have a question.
Sure.
So I was looking for the New York State civil service positions, and they're mostly internships. So